Do you have a paranormal encounter you'd like to share with us? Send us an email with your story for a chance of it being featured on Weird World. Delve into 5 more true accounts of unexpected journeys in parallel universes. Join Claire Adams, whose friendship is rocked by memories from another world. Mila Jenkins, whose recollections of a missing plane discovered unravel. Zoey Turner, whose fatal encounter with a vehicle is miraculously reset. Denise Wright and her family, whose reality endures a mid-flight metamorphosis. And sisters Kaylee and Alex Nelson, whose shared dream leads to an unexplained shift in their surroundings. Journey with us through these enigmatic accounts that dare to question the very fabric of our existence. A familiar stranger. The following incident took place in 2019. Claire Adams had an abundance of friends, but one stood out amongst the rest, Giselle. The two had a great deal in common. Giselle was in Class 1-1, while Claire was in Class 1-2. One morning, Claire waited for Giselle outside her house, as she did every morning for their daily stroll to school. But Giselle didn't emerge. After Claire knocked, it took a full 5 minutes before Giselle finally appeared. She stepped out wearing a hoodie and walked past Claire without acknowledgement, even offering a smile void of recognition. Throughout the day, Giselle's peculiar behaviour continued. She forgot the names of 2 mutual friends, walked into the wrong classroom, and couldn't locate the bathroom. Disturbed by her friend's actions, Claire confronted Giselle. That's when she heard her alarming account. Giselle explained that she woke up feeling disoriented. The details of her life seemed off. Her parents' behaviour was odd. She had awoken wearing unfamiliar pyjamas, and the apps on her phone had seemed to rearrange themselves. She had refrained from sharing her confusion with her parents, trying instead to pretend to be sick to skip school and mentally sort things out. However, her parents hadn't been convinced by her act. Most unsettling was her confession to Claire. She didn't recognise her at all. The places she had gone were based on the memories she had retained, which evidently didn't align with the current reality. Claire's curiosity was piqued, so she probed Giselle about her memories. Giselle's responses were startling. The design and contents of her room, her bed, her wardrobe, her entire house were different. Numerous popular apps, shows, films, musicians and celebrities that Claire recognised had vanished without a trace, while others she had never heard of were now household names. Her iPhone also seemed to have undergone an overnight design change, with its headphone jack nowhere to be found. Instead of Donald Trump, a man named Sherrod Brown was the US president, and Quebec was apparently a country, not a province of Canada. These revelations left Claire unnerved. Whether Giselle was fabricating tales or genuinely recalling an alternate reality remained a mystery. As a result, Claire found herself cautiously distancing herself from Giselle, uncertain of what to believe. MH370, undiscovered. 17-year-old Mila Jenkins encountered a disconcerting experience when she was around 14 or 15. Major international news coverage she vividly remembered dominating the media landscape for years seemed to have no record in reality. One morning, Mila descended the stairs of her home, her phone in hand. She had been scrolling through TikTok and Snapchat's news segments when she stumbled upon a headline that caught her eye. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 had been found. Eager to share the news with her mother, who had always been fascinated by the mystery of the missing plane, she rushed to inform her. To Mila's surprise, her mother was already tuned into the news on the TV, covering the same story. They conversed about the discovery for around half an hour. Mila was certain of her recollections. According to the reports, the bulk of the plane's wreckage had been discovered in the South Indian Ocean, west of Australia, using sonar mapping. She even recalled seeing 3D reconstructions of these scans in the news of the wreckage. She also remembered hearing reenactments based on transcriptions of the black box recordings regarding concerns of a technical malfunction which was suspected to be the cause of the crash. Years later, upon spotting a new Netflix documentary about the flight, she made a light-hearted remark on Snapchat about the documentary being outdated. However, her friends' responses were perplexing. They seemed unaware of the plane ever being found. Mila hastily turned to the internet, intending to provide them with evidence. To her dismay, she found no trace of the plane's discovery. The inconsistency between her memories and the documented reality left her deeply unsettled. Other discussions she distinctly remembered having with teachers and peers about the plane's discovery in class now felt like figments of her imagination. Confusion overwhelmed her, and she grappled with the reliability of her memories. Zoey's second chance. Zoey Turner had a tale to tell that defied explanation. By all accounts, she should not be alive. At the age of 10, Zoey, along with her mother and sister, were en route to the bus stop. As they approached the crosswalk, young Zoey diligently checked both directions for oncoming traffic. Finding none, she quickly traversed the crosswalk towards the bus stop. Out of nowhere, a car sped towards her, and she felt the sharp, agonising pain of its impact. However, in the blink of an eye, she found herself once more at the beginning of the crosswalk, entirely unharmed. Her mother, with an urgency fuelled by maternal instinct, had grabbed Zoey's backpack and yanked her out of the vehicle's path. The near miss happened in the span of a heartbeat, with the car missing Zoey by mere inches. The driver, rather than showing any remorse, rudely gestured at them as if to blame them for his reckless driving. The experience left Zoey bewildered. She was certain the car had hit her, yet here she was, unscathed. Her mother's relief was immense, her hug a cocoon of safety. They waited for a clear moment before attempting the crosswalk again. Zoey chose to keep the incident to herself, fearing that her young age and vivid imagination would render her story unbelievable. Yet the memories haunted her dreams for a year after the event. Recently, these nightmares began to resurface, which she suspects was triggered by a personal loss. The chilling reminder of her own brush with death weighed heavily on her. By sharing her story, she hoped to find others who might have had similar, inexplicable experiences. But above all, she remained eternally grateful for her mother's timely intervention that fateful day. Whether Zoey endured a momentary glimpse of what would have been, or, as like many of these other encounters, her death transitioned her into another version of reality, will remain a mystery. Alternate reality airborne. Denise Wright, alongside her husband and daughter, embarked on a flight to Europe. In a rare cosmetic splurge before their departure, Denise decided to have her nails painted. As their flight progressed, she and her husband enjoyed a movie together. Midway, they couldn't help but chuckle as they spotted their teenage daughter, who had vowed to stay awake throughout the flight, dozing off in her seat. Once their film ended, Denise and her husband succumbed to sleep as well. After an indeterminate amount of time, Denise awoke. Exchanging a smile with her husband, her gaze dropped to her nails. To her dismay, she noticed a distinct scratch on her thumb's nail polish. Upon showing her husband, he playfully chided her, suggesting she might have scratched it while handling the luggage. The two shared a brief exchange about it before drifting back to sleep. As the plane began its descent, Denise was jolted awake. Glancing at her thumb, she was met with a perplexing sight. The nail polish was intact. She turned to her husband in bewilderment, displaying her unmarred thumb. He was equally taken aback. Recounting their earlier conversation about the scratch, both were sure of what they had seen. Their daughter's perspective, however, added a whole other layer of mystery. She claimed to have been awake the entire flight, witnessing neither their chat about the nail nor Denise's alleged wakefulness. Her father retorted to his daughter, insisting that it was her who had been sleeping for the entire flight, not Denise. The family landed, their minds awash with confusion. Yet the strangeness didn't end there. Their dog, who had accompanied them on the trip, returned with an entirely changed personality. Denise half-jokingly attributed the mysterious events to slipping into an alternate reality or a product of extraterrestrial manipulation. However, the true nature of what unfolded, whether it be a collective breakdown of sanity or of reality itself, will likely never be known. A dreamy displacement. When Kaylee Nelson was around 7 or 8 years old, she vividly remembered visiting a restaurant, indulging in a plateful of fruit, and then heading back to her hotel to relax in the hot tub. She and her sister Alex spent time reminiscing about their day's adventures. By the time they returned to their room, they found pancakes left by their parents, who had gone to the casino, along with a note mentioning they'd be back after a few hours. That night, Kaylee experienced an unusual dream, a blur of lights accompanied by Alex's voice echoing in the background. However, when she woke up, she was taken aback to find herself in a cabin located in an entirely different state. Startlingly, when she shared her dream with Alex, her sister revealed she had dreamt the same sequence of lights, but instead of Alex's voice, she had heard Kaylee's. Baffled and trying to piece together their whereabouts, the two sisters ventured outside. They spotted a hot tub near their cabin and, to their surprise, recognised the same lady from the previous restaurant. They remembered discussing visiting a fruit bar with their parents. Confused, the sisters asked their parents if they had travelled to a different location overnight, but their inquiry was met with puzzled expressions. To this day, Kaylee and Alex often revisit that mysterious night, theorising about the inexplicable events they encountered.